All right, so yeah, let's kick it off. This is Diego Quintero. He is the Dictador Asia Pacific representative for Dictador Rum, joining us tonight. So welcome, Diego.
Hi, thank you, Oliver, for the introduction. Happy to be here and do this tasting. I hope that these guys from the whiskey list members are going to be soon, probably in 1 hour, you will say, please change the name to their rum list or something like that. I don't know.
It might happen very quickly if it's.
It's okay. So thank you, Oliver, and thank you, the guys from the whiskey list, the whiskey rum list. I really appreciate that you make this happen. I'm always open to do tasting. It's one of my favorite things in my terrible job. And let's kick it off. I'll tell you. I will guide you through the process of how we produce rum, or how rum is produced everywhere. And meanwhile, we will enjoy 4 different expressions. We are going to enjoy 4 expressions of our core portfolio. And at the end of the presentation, I will show you our fine and rare products that are now available in Australia. We have now, this year, we just get a wider portfolio. Now we have 15 different rums in Australia. We used to have, now I can only see myself. That's good. Now I can see you guys. So now we have 15 out of, I reckon we have around 100 different rums available. That's a very big portfolio, but we have 15 really good rums here in Australia, and we will try at least 4 today. We're going to try the Dictador 12, Dictador 20, Dictador XO Perpetual, and Dictador XO Insolent. During the presentation, I will try to communicate with you through your hands. So I will ask different questions, and you can use your hands to show me what you think. But please stay muted because otherwise it will be crazy. And probably in the third round, we will not listen to each other. We will just be like a lot of boss. Also, Dictador is from Colombia. I am from Colombia as well. And after being working in the spirits industry for more than 12 years, I'm very happy to finally work with a brand from my own country. I work with different brands from UK, US, Europe, but now I'm happy to be working with something that really, really gets my heart. So let's chit chat, and I think that Oliver would like us to start with the D12. Yeah.
Yeah, let's start drinking. I mean, that's why we're here. I think we may have.
Yes, because my mouth is starting to feel dry. I reckon all of you guys have this beautiful box in your houses. That's amazing. I have a beautiful box as well. I'm going to show you the Dictador 12, how it's packed, and the bottle. So once you go to the whiskey list marketplace, you can easily recognize it. So this is our Dictador 12 bottle, how it looks. And I do love these glasses. Do you guys love these glasses or not? I love these glasses. And just because, well, probably most of you like are very are fans of whiskey and for tastings. Probably you have different one of those. I just get this one because I have been in this country only for 6 months, and I haven't been able to go and buy enough stuff to do my job. But I want to use this one, and I will teach you how to use just one if you're trying 4 different rums. So let's pour a little bit of this rum. Okay. So the first thing that I will tell you about the Dictador rum before trying it is that there are only 2 different ways to produce rum. So the first one will be molasses, and probably 90% of the rum is produced from molasses. And what is molasses? Molasses is a thick, dark thing, very, very sticky, and it's a byproduct from the sugarcane refination process. And the other thing that normally we can use, but not as common as molasses, it would be sugarcane juice. In Dictador, we don't use molasses and we don't use sugarcane juice. To start, we will use sugarcane honey. And what is that? It's just getting sugarcane juice, and we will put a little bit of heat, and we will evaporate some water, so the flavors of the sugarcane will concentrate. And why are we doing this? And please remember this once we get into the third rum. It's because we want to have similar aftertaste as single malts and cognacs. So our first rum, Dictador 12. Dictador 12 is a medium body rum, and the 12 and the 20, let me tell you guys, it's 100% of what we have in the bottle have 12 years old. Even though that we use a Solera system, that do not blend ages. Solera system normally means that you blend, I don't know, for example, imagine that this doesn't exist, but imagine that it existed Bacardi 19 years. So Bacardi 19 years will be a mix of 19, 17, 12, 8, 5, we don't know, but the oldest one will be 19. But we do use a Solera system, but the Solera system that we use do not blend that. We don't blend ages. What we blend is the barrels from the same batch, all the barrels from the same batch, and we move the rum from one barrel to the others, just to reduce the evaporation rate. Okay, I will explain a little bit more about later, because you guys look thirsty. So first thing, the color. It's a beautiful dark color. Well, not that dark, it's a light amber color. And we will also find some reddish notes in this. When I'm going to explain about the aging process, I will shoot you a question about what type of cask will give these beautiful reddish notes. Okay, let's go to the nose, guys. Probably most of you have already tried it. I see that you don't have more left. But still, we can do the nose. Remember, when you are doing the nose, very important, open your mouth. If you don't open your mouth, you will only feel the alcohol, and you will feel, and then we are done. And my job will be a mess, because normally when people do not open their mouth when smelling the spirits, you will say this. Oh no, this rum is so strong. I don't like it. Better bring me some other thing. So open your mouth so the alcohol goes into your nose, and then it comes out through your mouth. So and let's use the chat or your hands if you want to. Do you think that is a sweet nose? Raise your hand. It's a sweet nose. Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of sweet characters coming through.
Yeah. Okay. And please remember that when we are going to try it in your mouth, remember, if the sweet note, you can feel it in your mouth as it is in your nose as well, but only after trying it in your mouth. So what type of aromas we will find here? We will find sweet notes, caramel, some honey, and it also has this note of, but lightly roasted coffee as well. And please remember the coffee note also when we are after we are trying this in the mouth. So I know you have been in a lot of beautiful tasting with the whiskey list, guys, but remember that the first sip that you are taking, please wash your mouth. Why? Because we need to balance the pH in your mouth. So that first sip is going to be just something to clean our palate, because probably we were having dinner or we were eating something or drinking something else. So we need to clean our palate and balance our mouth. Now, the second sip is the one that is going to show you how this really tastes. So please, guys, and cheers, a second sip.
Chris H from the audience says coffee on the nose and palate. It's quite prominent for him. I'm getting a little bit of bitterness on the front of my tongue, and then the sweeter honey caramel notes towards the finish. Is that what we're expecting?
Yes, yes, for sure. And that bitterness also can be related to that coffee note. Also, we will have some oak aromas as well. That's always be connected with that bitterness. But I don't know if you guys get the same feeling in your mouth. We have like a little bite in your tongue at the beginning. All of the rums that we are going to try are 40 ABV. But we will have different sensations in your mouth when you drink it. So this one has a little bite, like a little kick. Then it will disappear and it will start feeling smoother. It has it in your mouth. You can feel a little bit of cocoa that is also related with the bitterness that Oliver was talking about. Some caramel, some honey notes. But what I like about this is that even though that the nose was very sweet, the taste is not as sweet as the nose. Okay.
We got a question from Kevin, for one of his guests in the audience. Maybe I don't think you're jumping too far, mate, with this question here. But
no worries.
He said maybe jumping too far ahead, but with this 12-year-old and the rest of them, and the nose and the palate and the notes and getting caramel and honey, is it purely coming from the distillate, the spirit, and the barrel, or is it? He said some distilleries add, I imagine you're saying caramel flavoring and those kind of cheat kind of things.
Yes.
This is all natural, I think, is the question, right?
Yes, that's perfect. And I really appreciate this question. And it's because I know that for whiskeys, there's a very strict law, especially from Scottish. No, you know, Scottish whiskeys have a very regulated law. Also, when you go to the US, they have a lot of laws, and you know what you are drinking. When you are drinking Japanese whiskey, well, you don't know what you are drinking. But I do know that I read an article the other day that the Japanese whiskey is about to be regulated. I don't know how, but it's going to happen. And in terms of rum, to answer the question of Kevin, is that in rum, you can do whatever you want to do because there are no universal laws. There are some countries that have developed some laws. For example, here in Australia, you can only call a rum a spirit that has been at least for 2 years.
In oak.
In oak.
That's it.
So technically, there's no white rum here in Australia, but we do have white rum. What would you say about, for example, of agricole rum, of white Bacardi, or well, no, Havana Club is 3 year old, which is a really good one. But there are a lot of white rums that are not supposed to call rums here in Australia and in other parts of the world. So we can add anything. When in terms of the rum category, you can add caramel, and normally the industry will add caramel to and not because of the also because of the sweetness, but most because of the color. People can add sugar if you want, and they will add also, and this happens with other spirits as well. They will add glycerol to make it look a little bit more thicker, because people think that when a spirit is a little, they have these legs, it's like is more premium, and that's a myth that doesn't show anything or doesn't talk about the quality of the spirit. So our products are bottled from the barrel to the bottle, and the way that we are getting this, for sure, the caramel and the honey notes will come from the sugar cane. Uh, we are going to try a rum, and we do add something to that rum, but I will tell you that later. That's the XO Insolent. That's the last one that we're going to try. This Dictador 12, straight from the barrel to the bottle, no adding anything. And I like, it says here, Kevin, caramel flavoring does balance too. Isn't it also, in my opinion, it changed the original profile of the rum? Yes, it changed the profile taste, but it depends on what in each brand. They can do whatever they want. We do not sugar. And in terms of the sugar, I will tell you that our products is one of the brands that has the less content of sugar per liter in our rums. That will be around, for the 12, the 20, and the XOs. We will have 5 grams per liter. That's very little sugar, because normally rums will be around 30 to 40 grams per liter. Yes, and John is saying to us that it's almost like a cognac kind of nose palate. And that's the reason why we're using sugarcane honey, because we want those notes. So people will be we are not after the rum drinkers. We are happy that rum drinkers like Dictador. We are after you guys, after you, after whiskey drinkers.
Oh, we've got because we're doing rums and gins now on the whiskey list. We do all spirits. We'll have tequila, mezcal later this year as well. It's, doesn't matter what your spirit is. If you like vodka, and my background's Polish as well, we support all spirit drinkers equally. But I get some of those cognac notes as well. On the sugar point, does that mean less sugar means this is healthier for us?
Yes.
Compared to some of the other rum products out there, you can drink a little bit more of this.
Yes, that means it's healthier in terms of that. If you cannot eat too much sugar, it will be better to have a spirit that has a lower grams of sugar per liter, and also it will help you with your hangover. It's better to have those sort of spirits that have less sugar, because I can drink this whole bottle, but if I drink this whole bottle plus a bottle of Coca-Cola just to have rum and Coke, well, tomorrow I will feel very bad, because all of the sugar that Coca-Cola has. I'm not against Coca-Cola, no, it's okay. If you wanna, actually, I'll have to tell something about Coca-Cola and our Dictador rum. Our master distiller, Hernan Parra, he can drinks every day, if he wants, rums that are 40 or more years old. And he doesn't care about the number of years. He likes drinking rum and Coke. It doesn't matter. And sometimes we are like, what are you doing? Please don't do it. And he said, this is how I like to. This is not a tasting. When you're chilled and you want to have the drink as you want to have it. Well, he said, I like to have it with my friends with Coke. So I'm sorry for that.
Right. It's your way. You can drink it absolutely any way you want to drink it. Kevin's come in again. How does a Dictador achieve that, having less sugar content? Is there any negative aspects to that? Very technical questions. I love it.
Okay, so there are. I'm gonna explain that through all of the tasting, because I just started with the sugar cane with the raw material. After explaining the fermentation, the distillation, and the type of aging that we are using, that will answer your question, Kevin.
So shall we jump to the second rum?
Yes.
And then while we're kind of enjoying that one, you can take us through the next phase.
Let's do that. Perfect. But Kevin, no worries. I will answer your question, okay? But it will take more time, because if I answer that now, we will have to drink like 20 XOs and bye-bye, because that's part of my script. Okay, so this is our Dictador 20-year-old, the blue one. Okay, if you still have a little bit of the Dictador 12, please try to compare the color. I don't know if we can take a look at this. This is the 12, this is the 20. Probably we'll have to do it this way. So I don't know if it's the light, but this one on the right, the one that I'm moving, is the 20, and this is the 12. If you can see, the 20 will be a little bit darker. Please try to compare that in your places.
Yeah, John says it's darker. I've got a lot darker on my side as well. Quick question about the age statements, because in whiskey, when they say it's like 20 years old, it could have spirit that's older, but legally the youngest whiskey in that 20-year-old whiskey has to be of the age that's on the bottle. It could have 30-year-old, it could have 50, doesn't matter. But is that the same for rum for Dictador?
Okay, so for Dictador, the 12 and the 20, those are age statement, and all of the product has 100% is 12 and 100% is 20 years old.
So you won't have an 11-year-old in the 12, you won't have 19, it's always going to be 20 in the 20, right?
12 and 20, yeah.
Great.
100%, yes. When I get to explain the aging, I will tell you how are we doing the Solera system, and how we manage not to have that mix of ages, because we do use the Solera. So the 20-year-old, darker color, no reddish in it, and the nose, completely different one. So John is saying that 20 is darker. We still have some, but different notes. We still have sweet notes for sure, but different ones. The honey that we can feel here, it's more like a smoky honey. It has more toffee in it. The coffee that we can feel is a little bit more roasted than the one that we were feeling in the 12. And I will like, I have another note in my mind, but I will not tell it. So probably if someone wants to try the chat and describe it, or if not, at the end I will tell you the other idea that I have in my mind. So cheers, guys, again, and first sip of this 20-year-old. And try to chew your rum, and try to find those aftertaste as well. I forgot to tell you that normally with the Dictador 12, my aftertaste is similar to coffee. When I have had a coffee, I have the similar sensation. This one have a completely different aftertaste.
Diego, I'm getting it's a lot more refined. The balance between the flavors is compared to the 12, I'd call it a lot more spirit to wood sort of ratios. That the balance is there. The sweetness is not overpowering. I think the 12 is a little bit too sweet for me, but I'm getting a lot of chocolate mocha notes on the finish in this one. This one's really calling out to me.
So you got it. Normally we will have this great dark chocolate aftertaste. It's more like I don't know, like 70% dark chocolate. That's what we are going to have in our mouths after drinking it, probably, and that will last around for 3-5 minutes at least. It is completely different, and also the sensation that you have in your mouth is different. As I told you, the 12 has this little bite in your tongue. It's a little bit like a kick. We don't have that. It's the 20 is smoother, way smoother compared to the 12. It feels more round, like roundness in your mouth.
I'm getting a little bit of spice on the edge of my tongue as well,
and some spice notes and dry seeds as well. And as you said, probably with the chocolate, some cocoa. Also, we will find this caramel as well, and nobody has said yet. So I will also add this vanilla note, especially in the nose. You will have this beautiful vanilla note. It has like a very rare texture because it's like very lingerie. It feels very smooth.
Chris says he's getting a maple syrup tasting note.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I agree, mate. We make some pancakes tomorrow morning for breakfast or Saturday, and then drizzle this on top, and you're set for the day, right?
Yeah, that would be a great idea. Try to make add a little bit of Dictador 20 to your maple syrup, and that will be a great dessert, a great breakfast. Okay, perfect. Okay, guys, so far, let's see your hands. So far, 12 or 20? Who votes for the 12 so far? Only 2 votes for the 12. John, you count by 2, so you're 3 people, and the rest of you guys, I think it's the 20. Okay, so Kingsley and John vote for the 12. So I have to say something about this, and is that normally people who likes or to prefer the 12, the reason for that, normally, I'm not saying that it's true, it's normally, in most of the cases, is because you drink more. And why is that? It's because even though that both products have 40 ABV, you feel like a little bit more of a kick in the 12 because of the sensation in your mouth. So probably you like that strong feeling compared to the 20 that is smoother. Okay, but I'm not telling you that you drink that much. It's okay, you can keep drinking. It's just an idea that I have.
I agree with you, John. The 12 tasted a lot sweeter.
Okay, so John has a sweet tooth. We thought the 12-year-old tasted more. So the Phantom Party. Okay, Phantom Party said that they like the 12 more. Yeah, is that right, guys? No, the 20. Okay.
I think they were comparing to John's earlier comment about the 20 tasted with maple syrup.
Oh yeah, now I get it.
Every palate's completely different. It's amazing how you can say it tastes like chocolate, and I say it tastes like sugar, and then we can argue for days. But it's all...
like I there's something that I do not like about the tastings, especially in wines. Well, I like going to the tasting, but there is some point where the guy who's doing the tasting, and I'm trying not to do this, is I'm trying to use like the regular notes, like everybody can get that, is that sometimes you go and they say like, and very like they do this, oh, this smells like those cranberries that you can find in a forest in France, in the Bordeaux, or I don't know French, I'm sorry. And you will say like, I have never tried those berries that you can find in Bordeaux in France. So as Oliver was saying, there are no wrong questions when you're talking about your notes, especially when you're talking about the aroma. And the reason for that is that your nose is the sense that has the most strong connection, the strongest connection, has the strongest connection to your memories. So for example, if I try this Dictador 20 and I tell you, wow, this reminds me, I don't know, hot chocolate that my grandma used to prepare to me when I was a kid. And I don't know, all of you guys will say like, what is this guy talking about? We haven't tried that hot chocolate that your grandma was preparing you when you were a kid. So there's no wrong or right answer. It's just a personal opinion. You feel that it's good or not, and you feel that it tastes or smells as something, it's okay. There are no wrong answers. So Kevin is saying, side question, is rum good for food pairing? If so, what kind of food? Wow, I love this question. Yes, actually, 2 months ago, I did a food pairing session online, unfortunately. So these guys were eating in front of me in the camera, and I wasn't eating. It was with a really nice bar in Brisbane. We did a food pairing session with the 12, the 20, the XO Insolent that we were gonna try at last, and one of our best offs from 1981. And I will say, for example, for the 12, I will definitely recommend ceviche. I don't know if you guys are familiar with ceviche. So that's raw. It's a Peruvian style of sashimi, if you can say that. It's raw fish with a little bit of onion, and we will add coriander and a lot of citrus notes. So for example, sashimi, sushi will go very well with the 12. A 20-year-old, I will definitely pair it with more like I don't know, like barbecue ribs or lamb. Lamb will go very beautiful with this. Also, it also depends, as in other pairings with different wines or spirits. It depends always in the sauce that we're using. If you're preparing, I don't know, like a pepper sauce it will be a completely different wine if we're talking about wines. If you are doing, I don't know, probably a blue cheese sauce for a fillet, it's completely different. So that will be my recommendation for the 20. And for the XOs, I will give you some pairings once we try them. For this second run, the Dictador 20, and this is trying to answer Kevin's question. So the second step after the raw material that we use is the type of fermentation that we're using. We are using yeast to produce the alcohol, but we use a particular yeast, industrial yeast. We don't use wild yeast. We use a particular industrial yeast that we have been using for more than 100 years. And that yeast is part of the secret recipe that will give us these different notes. Remember that yeast is the little animal that is eating all the sugar and transforming it in alcohol and carbon dioxide.
We found yeast. We wouldn't have amazing rums or any spirits to drink. So it's the most magical creature on earth, guys. If you know, some people say they're like lions or tigers or elephants or whales. My favorite creature in the world is yeast, hands down.
And I also have to add that yeast, that the fermentation process, is the only part of the process of spirits where we produce alcohol. Only the fermentation. The distillation process does not produces alcohol, and I'm going to explain that later. So remember, raw material, fermentation, and I will explain then the distillation and the aging. Okay, let's move to the third run. XO Perpetual. Yes, Perpetual. So the XO Perpetual. So you have two XOs. Remember to use the one that it says Perpetual. And the Perpetual is this beautiful bottle, golden bottle. I'm sorry because I have some reflexes there. Okay, but this is the bottle, and you can see the color of the beautiful rum. Okay, I forgot to tell you something. I was about to give you a little tip. I just have this glass. I only have one. So, and I'm gonna try different rums. So what I do normally is just put a little bit of water, wash it, and drink it. The reason for drinking water is that cleans my palate, and also it hydrates me a little bit. So tomorrow I will be less hangover.
I forgot to say at the beginning, even though it's social distancing and COVID and everything, two rules. We're still drinking 40% spirit. So hydrate, lots of water. Thank you. Don't drink and drive. So, the walk from the living room to the bedroom, just take your time, after the tasting. We've been sitting down for an hour and, you get up and we've had, 4 really good rums here, but that 40%, times 4 will sometimes will get to you. So lots of water will make you feel better.
Yeah, for example, I forgot to put out this, and I just have like maybe 10 ml of 2 rums. Okay, the Dictador XO Perpetual. Let's try this one. Okay, guys, let's take a look at the beautiful color that it has. Also a little bit darker, and I have a question for you guys. Do you know what XO means? And please, Oliver, do not answer because you are a pro. You can answer through the chat, guys, if you want. Meanwhile, Oliver said rum number 2 was the Dictador 20 and rum number 3, XO Perpetual. Yeah, perfect. Team Phantom are definitely not in Victoria. Okay, thank you, John. Yeah, they are not. Extra old. Yeah, that's it. That's extra old. But yesterday I was doing another tasting, and some of the guys said that something that I need to repeat, that it's extraordinary, and that's true. So we just get this XO Perpetual. We don't know the age. It's a non-age statement rum, and but we do know from the master distiller that the rum that we are going to try is between 25 to 35 years old. So that is a very good thing because all of you guys look very young. So probably you will try something that is older than you. It's not my case. It's very difficult for me to get some spirit that is older than me. Okay, guys, let's take a look at the beautiful color, darker color. It's a darker brown. It's a darker brown color with some golden in it, and it's very, very shiny. And let's go to the nose.
I've got a question. You'll no doubt get to it very soon. What's the other naming conventions? 12-year-old, 20-year-old age rum. That makes sense. What does perpetual mean? Where's that come from?
It's just, I guess, something from marketing.
Okay.
It's to be, it's like, it's because it's very old, so it's perpetual. The other than that we're going to try, that is insolent. It does have also a meaning, but it's some marketing stuff, like to show that it's very, very old, that it takes forever to be produced. That's the reason for this name. So okay, in the nose, it's now we still have that roasted honey note in it, and more of that beautiful Colombian coffee. And I'm very happy to be here in Australia, because when you talk about coffee in Colombia, we don't know that much about, but here people are really into coffee. So it's easy to talk about Colombian coffee. You have tried that one, that it's sweet, really, really, really smooth coffee. And also but the vanilla note that we can find here is a little bit like kind of stronger, like warmer, if I can say so. And for sure you can find the oak notes. This product, I will definitely say, that was produced for whiskey drinkers. Just thinking about whiskey drinkers, the similarity of taste that you can find is amazing.
The first thing that catches my attention, I agree with what John's saying. Thicker, more honey texture gets caught in the throat. The other big thing I notice is it drinks like it's 10% ABV. It's so easy to drink. You could scull it like water. It doesn't taste like 40%. It's amazing. I'm really intrigued by this one.
Yeah. Don't scold it.
No,
Drink
it's
it,
done.
and it's okay. No, guys. So I will tell you a little bit more about the process. The third step will be the um, the distillation process. So about the distillation, there are two ways of distilling. Well, there will be more, but the two different ones is pot distillation and continuous column distillation. So pot distillation is a big pot with a goose neck, and that's it. And the column distillation is a column. It is what it is. And what is the distillation? We are just uh, separating water and alcohols and different alcohols. So we have this juice that we fermented, and we put this through the distiller to distill, and we will obtain different alcohols because alcohol evaporates in a different temperature compared to the water. With that will evaporate, and then we will condense all of these alcohols, and it will turn into these spirits. So and it what is the important part of the distillation process is that two things. One thing is why we Dictador uses the two types of distillation, pot and continuous column distillation. And why is that? So imagine that, please raise your hands. Do you like, guys, do you like burgers? Yeah, okay. So if you are familiar with cooking burgers, you know that the good thing about the thing of a good burger is to use fat, a percentage of fat, and also a percentage of lean meat. If you just use fat, well, better go to uh, Max something or Burger something King, and that's good if you like those. But if you just use lean meat, it will lack a lot of flavor. So we need to use, normally a good chef will tell you that you just need to use 20% of a fat meat and 80% of a lean meat. And that will create the perfect combination. And that's what we are trying to do. The continuous column distillation, it gives you like more elegant uh, spirit, and also the strength of the ABV is higher. But the pot distillation has like a lot of flavors, full of flavors. So we combine that, and that's the idea. If you have ever tried, we we don't have, but other brands have pot distilled 100% pot distilled rums, uh, and that normally will be agricole rums. If you try agricole rums, which I do love them, uh, you will find like a lot of flavors, a lot of funky flavors in that, and you will find different layers every time because the amount of congeners that you can find there. So we are not trying to have that lot of flavors. We want some fat, but we want also the lean meat, and that's part of the trick of Dictador, the using both types of distillation.
So
Um,
just to kind of summarize, so you've created this alcoholic sugar mix that the yeast is interacting with. Do you put it in the pot still first and then the continuous in that order, or is it
no, it's separately,
completely? And then you blend the two spirits together
and
into
then
the barrel.
yes, and then we blend both alcohols, heavier and lighter alcohols.
And what ABVs do you see like at the beginning, and then what ABV do you barrel at?
Yeah, the ABV that we will obtain of the mix of this will be around 60 to 65%.
Great. And do you guys ever do bottlings at cask strength straight out of the barrel, or is it all watered down to 40%?
We have a new series that it's called Bixarica that is now available in Australia that are cask strength rums.
Awesome.
We have three different expressions here. We have a collection of 10, but we just bring three of these beautiful spirits.
Awesome. I
I
think
forgot.
we'll touch on that at the end. But Kevin asks why the range in the age for the last two rums that we're trying.
The range, but the range is because the master distiller do not want to put an age statement for this one. He just say that it's something in between 25 and 35 years old. I reckon, honestly, there's some marketing stuff. I used to work in marketing. Now I'm happy that I'm working in sales.
Yeah, to me, it's a lot more refined. So if we're judging from the 12 to the 20, that feels like there's a lot more older spirit in here. But shall we try the last one?
Yes, for sure. Oh, I forgot to show you our distillery. I was supposed to do that at the very beginning, but I forgot to do it. If you guys are happy to take a look at our beautiful distillery, please raise your hand. If not, if you want to drink, okay, you want to take a look at the distillery. That's good. Okay, perfect. Let me get, it's a very small video. It takes like just 1 minute. Let me do this screen sharing stuff. Okay. And I don't know if you. Okay.
That's awesome. So we can obviously see the old industrial building. That's the distillery. That's what you said, over 100 years old. But what's all the graffiti, all the art, street art that's happening there?
Yeah. Okay. Let me explain that. Give me 1 second. I have to stop this YouTube stuff. Okay. Now I'm okay. So that's our distillery. That distillery, we started distilling in 1913 back in Cartagena de Indias. I didn't tell you anything about the brand. I'm sorry. We just started drinking and you guys confused me. But we started producing rum in 1913 in Cartagena de Indias. That is located in the Caribbean coast of Colombia, in the north part. But in 1951, we started this distillery that I just showed you. And why? Because we have not the best alcohol laws in Colombia. So we need to stop producing alcohol in Cartagena. So we partner with one of the wealthiest family in Colombia. The family, it's almost own one of the states in Colombia that is called Cesar. So we partnership with these guys and we started the distillery in 1951. That distillery, if you take a look at that distillery, is a really big one. It's an industrial distillery. Now it's split, it's divided, because these guys are still producing alcohol, but they are just producing alcohol for fuel, and we are producing just spirits. Most of the 80% of the distillery is abandoned, and we are only using 20% of the capacity, and we just put new last year I went there last year when these guys, the artists, were there, and we just bring new distillers, copper, pot and continuous column, and the art thing is that we have this beautiful distillery in the middle of the jungle in Colombia, because to reach there, you have to travel by airplane. If you have a flight to a small city in Colombia and travel for at least 2 hours in a car to reach there. So the artists arrive in the airplane and I arrive in a car. So, and why these artists? That was the second edition of Dictador Art Masters. And we are trying to produce here is uh, one of the most interesting and exclusive uh, art street museums in the middle of the jungle of Colombia. Why? Because we want our distillery to be a tourist destination. But we don't want to take people there just to drink rum. We want to take them to take a look of Colombia and also to this beautiful art. So we have invited, first year in 2018, we invited 10 different artists from around the world. And in 2019, we invited 13. So now, so far, 20 artists have been, and they feel like kids. Like we are saying to them, because normally graffitis will be like something that you have to do hidden, but these guys were invited to do whatever they want to paint there. So um, we want to take people there to have a very premium experience, that drinking really good rum, having this beautiful museum of street art. And these guys, I don't know too much about street art, but these guys, I Googled them after I met them. And most of these guys are like the Renoir, the Van Gogh, the Picassos of the street art. And they came from different parts: Mexico, Brazil, US, UK, South Africa, Japan, Poland, from different parts of the world. And the other thing that we're trying to build there is a glamping experience. And that's because we are also located, the distillery is located in it's a unique environment. It's a dry forest in the middle of the jungle. It's closer to the it's very close to the Venezuelan border with Colombia. So that's our distillery. I'm really happy that you like it. And these artists are also painting some canvas. And at the end of the project, when we are going to launch it, the museum, we were not able to do the third step during this year because the stupid virus. But we're going to have this canvas auctioned to get money, and the artists will uh, choose which foundation they want to use the money that they raise through their campus.
That's really good to hear. Though you guys, charity is important as well to the business. Yeah, those street arts. I agree with John. When will you personally give us a tour when we come to visit once this
Oh,
virus is all sorted?
I will kill now to go to Colombia. Now that I cannot go, I will kill to go to Colombia. That would be amazing. And we all can go when they open the distillery to try that.
Just conscious of time, I think we need to get into rum number 4. So if everyone pours their glass,
Yeah.
I don't know if Diageo mentioned at the beginning, he landed in Sydney in February or March this year, and then COVID happened, and he hasn't been anywhere. He's like been stuck at home this whole time, drinking rum, having a great time, but he's yet to see the majority of Australia. So yeah, we're hopefully things start opening up soon, and you can get around and see our beautiful country as well, mate, and spread the love of Dictador rum. But yeah, let's get into number 4.
Perfect. Thank you.
What's your favorite thing of Sydney that you've seen so far?
So far, I love the bay. I love the harbor and the bay, and I have a good friend here, and he owns a yacht, and he has taken me to do some sailing, and wow, that's like that's the thing. And I also really like that life here is a little bit more chill, like more easygoing. I don't have to worry about some of the things I have to worry back in Colombia. I love my country, um, but I feel like very chill here, and I like people are like more easygoing and like, hey, no, yeah, no worry, mate, let's make this happen. And I have met a lot of people here, and all of the people are willing to help you with the stuff that you need to do. So that's great. The people here is amazing, and the multicultural is, wow, I love it. Yes, I will love to go to the northern beaches for sure. Actually, I'm planning to do that after Christmas. I will have to do a 10. I am planning to do a 10-day trip to the northern beaches.
Awesome. There's so many great beaches to see. We have what, something like 18,000 or 28,000. I never remember the number of beaches around Australia. So you've got plenty of time to look at them all.
It's crazy. Yeah. Okay, let's go to the fourth one. Is Dictador XO Insolent? If you remember, the Perpetual is the golden one and the silver one is Insolent. So this one, and before trying it, I will explain the aging. Oh no, let's try it and I will explain the aging later. So we also have this brown look and shiny, and in the nose it is completely different to the Perpetual. Completely different. Vanilla bomb on the nose. Oh yeah, you got it, Chris. Okay, let's try that in our mouths. Ah, I love this rum. And I'm impressed that most of the people that have tried our range here, it's very surprised with it. I have to say that this is our sweetest expression if you compare it to the other three that we just tried. And I'm going to answer now Kevin's questions since the very beginning about adding anything to rums, which is okay. If you want to add something, it's okay. It's legal. We don't add anything to our rums except for this one. We do add something to this, but we don't add sugar, or we don't add vanilla, or we don't add caramel. Actually, we don't add an ingredient. What we add is fire. Fire in the hole. And how? So you know that the spirits, whiskey and rum, are aged in barrels. So what we are doing is, wow, Kevin is a geek. He knows a lot. Yeah, sharing. But this is the only product where we are using this. So we take out the rum and we recharge our oloroso cherry casks. And that rum that is instead still in the walls of the barrel will be caramelized with the fire. And that caramel that we will obtain from the same rum will produce this beautiful, this amazing flavor.
Mate, this is insane on the nose, on the palate. I agree with what the Phantom crew is saying. Whether all caramels, there's little butterscotch sweets. I'm punch in the face. A bit of banoffee pie, bananas coming in a little bit, caramelized banana.
I was doing a tasting. It was in LA last year, and one of the girls that was in the tasting give us the perfect descriptor of this product, and it is creme brulee. You can feel the sugar caramelized, the caramelized sugar, sorry. you can find the vanilla note and that creamy note. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And I will answer now another question before about the pairing. So that I don't have a pairing for the perpetual. Let me think about it.
Just vanilla ice cream. Just pour it on top.
Yeah, it could be for the for the perpetual. It could be a dessert. I will try it neat, but what I like to do with this with the last one with the insolent, and that's and the reason to be called insolent is because it's completely different to our all our other stuff. Is that you can do types of pairing. There's like the matching pairing, like when you are trying similar taste. For example, if you are trying creme brulee with this, it will be beautiful. But there's also contrast pairing, and that's using flavors that contrast with this sweetness. For example, I would like to do this. I haven't done it, but XO Insolent will be beautiful pairing with blue cheese or probably with gorgonzola cheese, also with pate, because those flavors are so strong and the sweetness will make a beautiful contrast in your mouth. I have tried that with other products, with for example with late harvest wines, and the sensation in your mouth is beautiful to have blue cheese with some sweet notes. It's beautiful. So I definitely recommend that. Uh,
You're making everyone hungry, mate, with those pairing
yeah,
notes.
and I'm sorry that I'm talking too much. It's a problem from the people from Latin America. We talk too much.
We'll give it another 5-10 minutes, and then some people need to head off. But yeah, let's keep it going for a few more minutes, mate. What's they're saying John's saying insulate is a little less sticky than the perpetual. Is that on purpose? Are you getting the same?
Maybe it's just a mouth feel, but I will say that the insolent is a little bit more sticky for me. I don't know if for the rest of you guys. For me, it's a little bit more thicker in the glass, and probably that's because we didn't add sugar, but because of the sweetness and the caramelized rum, it will be a little bit more sticky. Um, Also, I forgot to tell you about the aging, because you were saying that what type of barrels we were using. So aging, the final stage. So raw material, fermentation, distillation, and the end is the aging, which is the most important process. So the aging that we are doing, we are use 3 different types of cask. Actually, we use 4, but the 4th one is just for one type of product that we use. So normally we will use ex-bourbon barrels, ex-cherry barrels, and ex-port barrels. So Dictador 12, the first one, we are using ex-bourbon and ex, do you know? Because of the reddish notes, probably.
I think someone said it before. Where we got here, John mentioned sherry.
Cherry. Yeah. For the 12 is ex-bourbon and ex-cherry. For the 20, we have ex-bourbon and ex-port cask. That's why it's so different. For the XO Insolent and Perpetual, we will have ex-bourbon, ex-cherry, and ex-port. But for the XO Insolent, we will have Oloroso cherry casks. And those are the ones that are extra charred.
So where in the process before, so do you take an Oloroso cask and before any rum is put in it, any spirit, do you char it and then put the rum in? Or do you put the rum in, wait 20 years, take it out, re-char it, and then put it back in for another 10 years or something?
Yeah, so we need to do that, but we need to do it several times in order to get this taste.
How many times? That's crazy.
I don't know how many times, but the last time that I asked the master distiller, Hernan Parra, he said to me, we need to do it so many times and that increases a lot the cost of the product. That's the reason that we are using that only for XO Insolent, because it's very complicated and it increases the cost a lot, because you have to take out all the rum, recharge, then put back the rum, then put it back to the solar system, then going back and several times to achieve this sweetness.
That's yeah. I've never heard of that process. Not recharring's common, especially like in ex-bourbon barrels. You got to rechar it for Scotch, but like multiple times in one. Yeah, that's yeah, completely different. How do you have a charring cooper on site who manages with the barrels, takes it apart, does the charring, or do you have to ship the barrels off site and then they have to come back?
I don't know. We do that. We do all of the process in Colombia. All of the process is done in Colombia. I want to show you before we stop. Before we stop, I want to show you guys also some of the. Wait a minute, I need to stop this and put this big. So I want to show you some of the very old and rare products that we have available here in Australia. So we just tried the core portfolio, which is the 12, the 20, both XOs, Perpetual and Insolent. And the other 11 products that we just received from our fine and rare portfolio are Dictador Best Offs. We have a vintage from 1981 and another one from 1987, completely different ones. So the one from 1981 is a 37-year-old rum, port cask. And we have another one from 87, a 30-year-old that was aged in whiskey casks from Highlands. This is the only product that we're using whiskey barrels from the Highlands. The other product we'll use ex-bourbon, ex-sherry, and export. And we also have our Dictador II Masters, and we brought 6 different expressions of Dictador II Masters. So Dictador II Masters are rums that were sent to different parts of the world to be aged in France, in UK, in US. We are working with different producers of whiskey or cognac or wines. This one is from Chateau d'Arquet from Sauternes. We have another one from Hardy Cognac. We have another with Laval Armagnac, Leclerc Briand from Champagne, Despan with Bordeaux, and Glenfarclas from single malts. These are 40-something years old. For example, this one is 44-year-old rum. The vintage is 1974, and it was sent to Glenfarclas in Scotland to be aged for an additional 14 months in their casks, using Glenfarclas casks. And these are the cask strength bottles that you were asking me for. So we have 3 different ones. We have these beautiful colors are produced in Mexico. Each of these bottles are unique. The craftsman takes 1 or 2 weeks to put all the beans and the design in these bottles, handmade. And for example, the one in the left is vintage from 1979, 40-year-old. And we use the 3 types of cask that we were talking about: American oak, cherry, and port. And it's the cask strength of this one is 54.4. We have 1, 2, and 3 beautiful cask strength. Big Sarika is the name of this ones, Big Sarika rums.
You've got some fans in the audience already. John and Kingsley both put their hands up. I will put my hand up as well. When the next tasting, let's go through those rums, those next 3. I definitely agree. Judith agrees as well. So you got 4 people. We can start selling tickets tomorrow.
Yes, for sure. Why not? I will be more than happy to do it. Great, we can plan that.
Yeah, let's chat after this, mate. But let's one thing we like to do. I'm just conscious of time. We could go on forever, but we try and stick.
I'm sorry.
Let's if it's all right, can we do a quick survey of the audience and find out which was the favorite rum of tonight? I always like to find that out.
Perfect.
So let's let's just put everyone into if you want to put your cameras on, we'll just do it by hand. So the Dictador 12-year-old, any favorites here? First first rum of the night's always the trickiest one. I know it's any no hands there for the 12. Ooh, it's all right. The 12's good, I admit, but any for the 20-year-old?
Chris, David, okay.
I actually cheated. I got a bottle as soon as these landed about 2 months ago. I've been slowly, there's a little bit left. I'm really enjoying the 20-year-old.
Yeah, I love the 20. The 20 is the perfect one for me. But you know that there's a thing. The 12 is really good if you're in a warmer weather. Probably if you're in Brisbane or if it's very sunny here in Sydney, it will be great. If it's a little bit colder, the 20 will be the first choice.
Awesome. Rum number 3, the Perpetual.
Perpetual, the whiskey style rum.
Any hands up for that one? Oh, there we go. John. That's probably my second pick, mate. I really enjoy that one too. The refined balance of yeah, it's number 4, the Insolent.
So I reckon we have a winner.
Wow, that's it's like 80%.
I'm impressed.
There you go, mate. Were you expecting that for the Australian audience?
Well, not really, because most of the whiskey drinkers, and most of us are whiskey drinkers, because we don't like that sweet notes, but it is so interesting, the nose and the palate of this rum, that I understand why you guys like it. I do love this one. For me, my favorite one is the 20. I love it. It's so smooth. I can drink it all day. For me, the XO Insolent is beautiful, but I just like to have probably 1 or 2 glasses. After 2 glasses, I will go back to my 20s.
There you go. Any last final questions from the audience? Otherwise, yeah, I think we can call it a night. Last, 30. We'll give it one more minute or two, mate. Thank you so much in the meantime for taking us through the Dictador story, for showing us the amazing art, walking us through the process of making rum. It's I personally have always loved my whiskeys. This year I've been drinking a lot more bourbons, but then I've also started getting a bit into the rums, and yeah, you've completely opened my eyes, and I think I'm going to buy a bottle of the Perpetual very soon, because there's some flavor notes there you just don't get in whiskey. Personally, that's what caught my attention tonight. So I'm going to be diving into it a lot more as well. But yeah, any other questions? Please hit up Diego at dictador.com.
Yeah, if you want to ask something else, and you want to know a little bit more about Dictador or any of the rums, I will be more than happy to talk to you guys. I have a lot of work, but I always have time for my customers. I really want to say thank you to the Whiskey List, Oliver, Chris, and David. Thank you for making this happen. Kevin, you can shoot me an email, and I will. How about the sugar content? How do they get it so slow?
I think we got time for one more. Let's answer that one.
Yeah. Why is that? It's because of all of the process that we are doing. It's the ferment, and especially the fermentation process will make the residual sugar. That's why. How much time do you left? How much time do you leave the yeast, or allow the yeast to eat the sugar? That's one of the reasons. And the second reason is that not adding anything. If you don't want to have a big content of sugar, don't add sugar. Take care of the process. Use the right sugar cane, the right raw material, sugarcane honey. Do a right fermentation process. Do it very well in the distillation, and use beautiful barrels of bourbon, sherry, and port. There's no like one thing. It's all of the process that we are doing to have this very low sugar content.
Hopefully that answered your question, Kevin. But thanks again, Diego. Thank you to everyone who made the long trek from the living room chair to the dining room there, and the Phantom crew. Thanks to everyone thankfully our friends down in Victoria. Hopefully you guys will be out of lockdown soon. For anyone listening there, I know it's been tough for many months now. It's insane what's going on there. This is our very first rum tasting on the whiskey list. So, we want to definitely get into more of these other spirits. So, yeah, there's definitely a lot more interest for some of those more new rums. So as soon as they're available, I'll have a chat to Diego, and hopefully we can spin up another tasting very soon. But again, thank you for everyone for spending some time tonight chatting rums. Yeah, support us on the whiskey list. I put up the link before, but you can always just jump on the website, thewhiskeylist.com.au, search Dictador. All four expressions available there. And I think I checked the Perpetual is $1.99 on Dan Murphy's. We've got a little bit cheaper. So if you want to grab a bottle or two, it's free delivery as well, over $200 spent on the whiskey list. So,
and I also noticed that you have a better price on the 20 as well.
Yeah, we're here to support rum drinkers here. So those prices won't last long. I think they'll be up for a few days. So jump on it quick. We have very limited stock. So first in, first best, basically. But thanks again for everyone for your time tonight. Diego, we will see you at the next rum tasting very soon, hopefully.
Yes, for sure. I will be more than happy to do more rum tastings, guys. Thanks a lot, guys. Enjoy the rest of the night. Drink responsibly, but please drink the rest of the rum. Do not leave that for tomorrow. But responsibly.
Thanks, everyone.
Don't drive. Bye-bye, guys. Love you guys. Bye-bye.